Hi, I'm Mark Molesworth, and I'm joined by my BDO tax colleagues Lisa Rafter, David Blake, and James Traynor to discuss what we know so far about Tuesday's federal budget and what we might expect. David, to start with you, what do you think we'll see as a theme coming out of this budget?
I'm expecting to see a focus on small C changes over a number of macro themes. I think the key themes will be around jobs, they'll be about economic and social imbalance for women, and about infrastructure. So if I might first focus on the imbalance for women, I think we're expecting to see an extension of the low and middle income tax offset because that disproportionately impacts females. I think we're also expecting that it'll be less likely that there'll be tax cuts for the high income end, predominantly because that disproportionately advantages men. I'm expecting to see some policy around superannuation balances, especially for women, and some childcare arrangements, but a little bit more about that a bit later. Around thinking about infrastructure, I'm expecting that there'll be a continuation of the tsunami of infrastructure projects that we've seen over the last few budgets, but I'm not expecting any tax changes that will facilitate the delivery of those projects. I'd really like to see some policy framework that allowed greater direct investment in infrastructure, especially for SMSFs and for retail super funds, to accelerate the delivery of projects, but I think that that's highly unlikely. And I'm expecting to see more asset recycling.
Interesting. And from a GST perspective, Lisa?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. We're not actually expecting any major announcements in relation to GST. So recently, we've seen some updates on GST-free exemptions in the disability sector, and I do wonder whether there might be some more updates in relation to aged care flowing from the Royal Commission. I guess going forward though, ideally we'd like to see the budgets and future budgets lay the groundwork for GST reform. However, we do think that whilst the GST revenue is passed to the states and territories in full, this probably isn't going to be a focus for any incumbent federal treasurer.
No, self-interest is a great great leveler. And finally, from you, James, what do you think we can expect to see?
Thanks, Mark. Look, for me, it's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. And that's certainly been the government's mantra over the last few years. So we are seeing policies focused around jobs, about boosting workforce participation by women through changes to childcare and a boost there, $1.7 billion. The government certainly was encouraged through the JobKeeper scheme that by having increased employment, you can actually offset some of the downside that's happening through the COVID pandemic. So targeting an unemployment rate of less than 5%. Probably won't see major changes to the JobMaker scheme. Really wasn't a great take up, but the government's happy that jobs are already being recovered in the economy.
Thanks to you all. With the federal election to be held in the next 12 months and the economy still recovering from the pandemic, it's going to be interesting to see what the government chooses to prioritise on Tuesday night. Make sure you sign up for our full budget analysis, which will be delivered to your inbox early on Wednesday morning. Thanks for listening.